In a world where real estate investing has traditionally been reserved for the elite few, Fundrise is breaking down barriers and bringing real estate investment opportunities to the masses.
So what do you think of my James Earl Jones impression? You like it? Welcome to this review. My name is Seth Williams. I run a website called REtipster.com, and this is my 6th year putting together this annual review on my Fundrise investment.
Yes! Yes!
So what is Fundrise? Maybe we'll just start with that. Fundrise is one of many different real estate crowdfunding platforms that allows real estate investors just like you and me to invest small or large amounts of money into not just one property, but a pool of properties through what they call REITs. And these REITs consist of a lot of different real estate investment projects around the country. A lot of real estate crowdfunding platforms will basically only allow accredited investors to play ball on their platform. And being an accredited investor basically just means you have to already be rich. The federal government in the US has put these rules in place that say if you don't already have $1 million net worth excluding your home, or if your annual income is not in excess of $200,000 on your own or $300,000 jointly with your spouse, then you are not smart enough to make investment decisions. And you are not an accredited investor by their definition, which means you're not allowed to invest your money. With a lot of these other real estate crowdfunding platforms out there, what's going on is you're investing a big chunk of money, usually $5,000 or higher, and you become one of several owners of an LLC that owns a property, and then that property is improved and eventually sold at a profit. Or sometimes it's held long-term as an income-producing asset, and then that's how investors make a return. Or your money is basically being lent to that property owner so that they can develop it or improve it. And then as an investor, you make your money on the interest that's paid back on that debt. And it's a totally fine business model if you have enough income or net worth to be called an accredited investor. But what if you don't have all that money and income already? What if you're like the rest of us, where you just have a normal living wage, but you still want to invest in real estate through one of these crowdfunding platforms? Well, that's something Fundrise can do, because you don't have to be an accredited investor and you don't have to be loaded with cash in order to get started. All you have to have is a minimum of $10. You have to be a U.S. citizen and you have to be at least 18 years old or older. So if you're a 12-year-old non-U.S. citizen from Finland, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. But since Fundrise does have a much broader qualification box for their investors, it just makes this opportunity available to a lot more people. So why do I make these reviews every year? Back in 2017, when I made my first review about Fundrise, I decided rather than just talking about Fundrise, what if I actually took some of my own money and put it in Fundrise, and we could sort of see how the website works, and then every single year we could see, hey, did that investment actually make money? And if so, how much money did it make? And where was that money reinvested? And so on. When I first started putting those videos out every year, they kind of blew up. Like I was really surprised, because real estate crowdfunding with platforms like Fundrise is absolutely not my primary thing that I do in real estate. I just kind of did it because it seemed like fun. But people really seem to enjoy these things. They get a lot of views and likes and comments every year. Figured I'd be kind of dumb not to keep making these updates like this. So here we are. But back when I made that first video, at that time, the minimum amount that you could invest in Fundrise as a non-accredited investor was $1,000. So that was what I did. When you commit your money like that, you basically have to wait 5 years until you can request that money back and, take out your principal. And you can also reinvest your dividends, which is what I chose to do. Or you can have those dividends just paid right out to you every quarter as they're made. And if you try to request your money back before that 5-year period, it's not that you're not allowed to do it, but if you do, it's subject to a 1% penalty. And also, all of those dividends that are reinvested each quarter, if you choose to reinvest them, it's important to note that that 5-year time clock starts when that's reinvested. So say, for example, if I reinvest my dividends at year 3, quarter 2, that's when the time clock starts. I can't take that money out until 5 years from that point in time. So if you want the cash flow, just have them pay out those dividends directly to your bank account and be done with it. So in 2022, that was the end of the 5-year time clock from when I put in my money originally in 2017. So last year what I did was I actually recorded the process of me trying to request my original $1,000 back, and how easy or difficult that was to do and how long it took. And one of the things that kind of caught me off guard at the time was that when I requested the money in that actual recording in mid-April of 2022, it said that they wouldn't actually review my request or send me the money until July of that year. So like 3 months later. And I was kind of taken aback by that and kind of annoyed by it. But that was one thing that people wondered, because in that video from April, I didn't actually get to see my money deposited back in my account. And I can just let you know, it has been deposited. It did end up coming through. I think it was July 3 or 5 or something of 2022. So it did come through, but it just takes a little bit of time to do that. So in this video, the thing that's unique is all of the growth that's happened since I withdrew my original $1,000 investment is based on the dividends that original $1,000 made. So I've got all my principal back, and I've had it back since July of last year. And all the growth or lack of growth you're going to see in this video is based on those earnings. So it's basically just money that's growing on its own and it's running. And I really have no plan to take it out because it's kind of a hassle, but also because I just don't really need it for anything. And I also want to keep making these videos so you can see how it's going. I see lots of really interesting, valuable thoughts that a lot of you have to say about Fundrise. So I'm going to try to answer a lot of those common questions that I see coming up as we go through this video. If you do have more questions that I don't address in this video, by all means, be sure to put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them next year as we dive into this again. And also, I just want to be very clear about something. Please do not take this video as an endorsement or a recommendation or suggestion that you should be investing your money with Fundrise. Fundrise is absolutely not the most lucrative investment in the real estate realm. I could make a whole lot more money from a whole lot of other things, but the value that I think Fundrise brings to the table is that it's easy. I mean, it is the closest thing I have ever seen to passive income that's truly passive. I mean, it takes 0 minutes a year for me to make any money from Fundrise. And as you'll see as we dive into this, the returns from this past year are probably the worst they have ever been because a lot of the changes that have happened in the real estate market and rising interest rates. And since I originally invested that money in 2017, it was just on a consistent ride up year after year after year. And that's finally changing. And we're going to see some of the results of that when I show you my Fundrise account here. I just want to help you understand what Fundrise is all about and what you're going to get if you decide to throw your money into Fundrise. And I guess I probably shouldn't even say that because what you get might not be what I've gotten, but you can at least understand how the website works. I'll also mention REtipster does have an affiliate link for Fundrise. Surprise, surprise. So if you do want to try Fundrise and give it a shot, by all means, click through our affiliate link. We'll earn a very small commission from that. The link is beneath this video, or you can just go to retipster.com/Fundrise. And that can help support REtipster so we can keep making these kinds of videos. So with all that said, let's dive in, shall we? All right, so this is my account. If you followed these reviews for any number of years, you'll probably notice right away that Fundrise looks a lot different than it used to. The whole layout and interface looks like it was updated. Just right off the bat, you can see the historical earnings for the entire 6 years now that I've had my money in Fundrise. This was when I initially put that $1,000 in back in 2017, and it just grew and grew and grew as the market went up and up and up. And then I took it out last year, and then you can see that big drop there. In this year, it's basically kind of just gone down. So we can see here the account value and then the net returns. That kind of just shows us this historical bar graph showing what happened in each quarter. But each quarter you can just sort of see what the returns are made up of. It's always made up of a combination of appreciation and then net dividends. And the net dividends, that's what would have been paid out to me right back to my bank account if I hadn't just automatically had mine reinvested. So this is like the cash flow, I guess, if there is any cash flow. The appreciation, that's not really any payment to you until the day that you actually want to take that money out, whenever that day comes. So this really bad looking one here was from the fourth quarter of 2022, and the first quarter of 2023 made $4.64. This one right here, so this is not actually a full quarter yet. That's why it looks so low. This is the quarter starting in April of 2023, and I'm recording this in mid-April. So this isn't really even a full quarter yet. And then portfolio over here, this shows us what my portfolio was made up of. Looks like 43% industrial, 31.3% multifamily. I don't remember seeing this last year. Maybe it was there, I just didn't notice it. And then there's income real estate as well. So income, as the name implies, that's real estate that actually like generates income through rent and lease revenue and that kind of thing. Growth real estate is more appreciation-based real estate. And down here, we can see this thing. So this should look familiar if you watch previous years. This kind of gives us a breakdown of what my portfolio consists of. So this 864.25 is spread out among 282 active projects. Just to give you an idea of, when we talk about investing in these e-REITs and pools of real estate, this is definitely not concentrated on 1 or 2 properties. This is all over the place. So fixed income projects are the projects where my money is being lent out and then that debt is being paid back with interest. And that's how we make money from those properties. Looks like 15.1% of my portfolio is tied up in those kind of deals. And then Core Plus is when Fundrise acquires a newly built asset that's expected to produce cash flow. And then Value Add is more of a rehab situation where they buy an underperforming asset and fix it up with the plan of maybe expanding it or adding more tenants or increasing rent. And then Opportunistic is more the long-term properties that they buy to like develop from the ground up, so they're able to plan everything out. So it's good in that they're able to have a very clear goal and objectives in mind, but it's less good because it's not going to start generating revenue anytime soon. It's going to be a ways out before that starts generating any cash flow or appreciation or anything like that. And this is a pretty cool thing where you can click on any one of these and get more specifics on which projects actually make up this Core Plus or fixed income or value add and so on. If you want, you can actually like click on this and see an actual picture of this thing and view the details of it and a lot more stuff. So it's kind of cool how they have all this stuff set up. We can click back and check out these opportunistic ones and see what these are all about. So it looks like this is the subject property. It looks like some kind of new development. So kind of get the idea. If we go and click over here on portfolio, we can go and check out the value and net returns again, and we can see the same breakdown by asset type, either based on percentages or dollars. So it's kind of cool. We can also go down here and see all the properties right here on this grid and go check all those out. Looks like there's 24 pages of these things, or we can see them in a list, or we can see them in a map and see exactly where they are in the country. I always thought this was kind of cool. You can see where our dollars are invested. Looks like there's not a whole lot going on in the Midwest, but there's plenty going on in the Southeast and Southern and Southwest, which I guess isn't terribly surprising. If we want to go over here to transactions, so this shows us the entire transaction history since I originally put in my $1,000. So we can see every single quarter, you know, how much money was made. And understandably, once I took that $1,000 out last year, that slowed things way, way, way down. So that's to be expected. But this just kind of shows you what's been happening. If we scroll back up here, we can view the annual performance breakdown by fund. So this will basically just show every single fund that my money is invested in, how that particular REIT is performing on a quarter by quarter basis. Again, there's only been one full quarter so far in 2023 as I'm recording this. We can see this in dollars as well, or we can see it annually and see all the quarters to date. Looks like this is showing us 21, 22, and 23. So we can check out the previous years as well if we want to. And it looks like when I did that, this changed up over here behind the scenes. So let's go check that out. We can see, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, those were all really solid years. In 2022, it started to slow down a bit. And that was also when I yanked out my $1,000. And then in 2023, there you go. It's by far the worst year on record. But that's also because, there's not nearly as much money in there, but mostly because the real estate market has changed a lot this past year and it will probably continue to change. I don't think we're done seeing the effects of the much higher interest rates, the fastest interest rate hike that we've ever seen in the history of the US over the past year. So I'm sure this will continue to play out. You can go ahead and scroll down and see a lot more specifics about the dividends earned and the appreciation, the advisory fees that were taken out. And not surprisingly, if you ever want to add funds back to your Fundrise account, Fundrise makes it very, very easy to do that. If you ever want to withdraw your funds, it's a little bit harder to figure that out. Go up here, let's go to the Help Center, withdraw money. See if that shows us anything here. So you would basically just do that search and you can do this thing here, submit a liquidation request. This is just for those of you out there, if you're already with Fundrise or if you're just curious, how do you get your money back whenever that day comes? That's how you do it. They don't give you a giant green button you can push to make it easy. You kind of have to search around a little bit for it. But as you could see in my video from last year, if you want to check that out, I was able to do it. No problem. And I will say Fundrise actually does have a pretty decent help center. Like I was able to find answers to every question I ever had just by searching through here. So if you ever have questions that I'm not answering here, all you got to do is sign up for a Fundrise account, get in here and search around in the help area. And I'm pretty sure you'll probably find the answers you're looking for. Fundrise also has a new thing this past year called Fundrise Pro. This is essentially for people who actually do want more control over what their money is being invested in. Most people who invest with Fundrise, I don't think they really care that much about this. In fact, like that's part of why they do this is because they don't want to think about it. And that's kind of my motivation as I was looking at this. It's like, I want something that I just don't have to think about ever. And it's going to make money along the way. So that's why I think a lot of people are attracted to Fundrise. But if that's not you, if you do want to invest with something like Fundrise and you do actually want more control and oversight over where your dollars are getting invested, that's what Fundrise Pro is all about. And it costs $10 per month or $99 per year. And it looks like you can try it out for 30 days for free. And Fundrise Pro is intended for existing Fundrise investors with an account balance of $10,000 or higher with a direct investment in the last 12 months. I'm not doing this, so what I'm telling you here is pretty much just what their marketing materials say. So I can't vouch for it or tell you it's good or bad or anything, but just wanted you to know if you're interested in something like Fundrise and you do want more control over where your money is going, that might be something worth checking out. There's also this new thing that I had not seen before. If we go over here to browse investments, we can scroll down and there's this thing called the Innovation Fund. Looks like it is building a portfolio of tomorrow's great tech companies. So I don't know a whole lot about this, but it almost looks like it's not even real estate related. Just based on the fact that this is coming soon and we cannot currently invest in this. It looks like this is something that's kind of like in development, but it seems to be like a whole new direction from what Fundrise was originally built on. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see where that goes. So that's pretty much it for this year's update for Fundrise. I think it was a little bit less exciting because there's not as much money at play here. And it also wasn't terribly exciting because for the first year ever, the dollars didn't really go up and up and up like we're accustomed to seeing. But, that's kind of what happens when the Fed jacks up interest rates like they have. And just looking through the news feed, it's pretty evident that Fundrise is aware of this. And there's just a whole lot of stuff that they explain here about what's going on and when it might turn around and, how they're working through it. So you're welcome to check that out if you want to. Hope you found this interesting. If you are interested in Fundrise, if you want to help support REtipster.com, feel free to check it out through our affiliate link. Again, that's REtipster.com/Fundrise. If you decide to jump in, I wish you all the best. If you decide to do something completely different, I wish you all the best with that too. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again next year. Oh, you're still here. Well, hey, this is the end screen and there's a lot of cool stuff here in this channel. You could watch something like this over here, or you could also watch something like this over here. This is really neat too. I hope I'll see you again soon. Be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. And if you want to, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and you can see more videos like this. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you next time.